Hey there, curious souls. Or, well, non-curious souls. Welcome to I Am Not Curious. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You'll want to stay up to date on all the odd things we talk about. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for the weird, the wild, and the mind-bending stuff. So let's get into it. All right, let's take a little time travel trip today. No DeLorean necessary, just a quick jump to the early 1990s. Imagine this, it's 1991. The world's about to change, and no, it's not because of a new, cool band or a big movie release. It's because the World Wide Web was born. And the first website? Well, it looked nothing like what we see today. So I bet you're wondering, how did this happen? Who was behind it? Well, my friend, it was all thanks to one very curious individual named Tim Berners-Lee. He was a computer scientist working at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research in Switzerland. His goal was simple: make it easier for scientists to share data and collaborate. But Berners-Lee wasn't just thinking about scientists. He was thinking about everyone. He wanted a way for anyone, anywhere, to be able to access and share information easily. And that's how the internet as we know it was born. In 1989, Tim Berners-Lee wrote a proposal for what he called the World Wide Web. It wasn't an idea for some super-fast browsing system with endless content, but rather a simple, interconnected network of information that would use hypertext, basically text that links to other text. Sounds pretty basic, right? Well, this would change everything. Fast forward to 1991. Tim Berners-Lee had created the first website ever, and it was hosted on a computer at CERN with the address info.cern.ch. If you visited this website, you'd be greeted by a plain text page. No images, no fancy colors, just a description of the World Wide Web and how people could use it. Can you imagine a world where Google didn't exist, where you couldn't search for memes on Instagram, or even read random YouTube comments like you are now? It's hard to picture, isn't it? But here's something really wild. Did you know that the first web browser was also created by Berners-Lee? Yep, it was called World Wide Web. Yes, that's the actual name of the browser, not a typo. It wasn't just for browsing, though. It was also an editor, so you could create your own websites right from within the browser. That's how bare-bones and revolutionary things were back then. We've come a long way since then. Here's what it looked like. Not much to look at, right? Just a single column of links and some basic text. And get this, there were no images yet, and there was no easy way to interact with the web like we do today. It was just hyperlinks, and lots of them. Now, let's pause for a second. Can you imagine trying to explain this to someone back in 1991? Like, hey, this thing we're building is going to be massive. It's going to have videos, pictures, games, social media, online shopping, and even cats doing crazy stuff. They would have looked at you like you were from another planet. But that's exactly what happened. People were like, okay, but why do we need this? And honestly, I get it. It sounds so wild, right? So, what happened next? Well, once the first website went live, more and more people started catching on. By 1993, Mosaic, the first popular web browser, was released, and it changed everything. It added the ability to view images along with text, which sounds super basic now, but at the time, it was mind-blowing. People were now not just reading text. They were seeing images, learning how to browse the web in a way that felt like something out of the future. Now, the web exploded. New websites popped up, new services started to take shape, and companies like Yahoo, Amazon, and eBay made their debut. And that was just the beginning. The internet grew exponentially from there, and we saw a total transformation in how we lived, worked, and even just watched videos on YouTube. Think about that. If it weren't for that first website, we might still be in an era of just sending letters and using payphones. And here's the kicker. The first image on the web? It wasn't some super cool tech photo. It was actually a band photo. Yep, Some CERN colleagues created a parody pop group called Les Horribles Cernettes, and their picture was the very first image ever uploaded to the web. It's hilarious to think that the first ever photo on the internet wasn't a scenic view or a famous portrait, but a picture of a quirky band. Only in the early days of the web. So, all these years later, the internet is this huge part of our daily lives, connecting us in ways we never thought possible. But imagine how different things could have been if Tim Berners-Lee hadn't decided to build that first website. What would we be doing right now? How would we communicate? What would we even be doing online? Here's a question for you. What do you think you'd be doing with your time right now if the internet never existed? Would you read more books? Get really good at playing an instrument? Or maybe you'd actually talk to your neighbor? Let me know in the comments below. I'm really curious to hear what you think. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop. Catch you in the next one on I Am Not Curious, where sometimes we just can't help but be curious.